Good morning, guys. It's Jen from ScanNCut Canvas and SCAL Help on Facebook. Okay, lots of people have questions about doing layers in their vinyl. So here's a couple key tips. When you do layers in vinyl, let's say your regular adhesive vinyl, you can have a few layers. However, if they overlap and there's an opening underneath, let's say you have like those of you that have seen my truck when I come to class, I have my cutout dragonfly, and then I have words that go over it. The underlying cutout parts of the dragonfly have the words that go over top of it. When you have those gaps or you have those holes, you do not want that because water can get underneath of there and cause adhesion issues. So you actually want to trim it all out and have it on one even layer, okay? In all actuality, you really want to have everything on one layer, your HTV and your adhesive vinyl. Why? Because it just gives it better adhesion, okay? Plus the looks of it. If your HTV if you create a 5-layer HTV and you don't trim it out, it's like wearing a 2x4 around. It is not comfortable. If you create those for customers, nobody's going to come back to you and order anything because they don't want to wear a piece of wood around, and that is actually what it feels like, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you just using just a regular type tool. So I'm going to hit hello and I'm hitting enter. All right, so let's come over here and I'm going to hit on a couple of other things that we have saved in here. So I hit my favorites. If you want to see how to save fonts into your favorites, go to the YouTube channel and search favorites, and how to do that will come up. If this thing will actually participate, and it's not going to right now, so I am going to pop this up. Come on. Come on, little thing. Work for me. And let's come in here. And we'll hit... Oh, that's right. I haven't reinstalled anything into here. This is a new load for this system. All right, let's do this. Let's try this one. Okay, so let's say I want to do this on a t-shirt, which I wouldn't, but we're just going to say I would. How do I thicken it, guys in class? Come to the wrench, and I'm going to do shadow rounded. I'm going to decrease my shadow because anytime I do fonts, I usually use a shadow rounded of about 0.3. Okay, that looks good, but I need to put them together. So we're going to come over here, tracking, and we're going to decrease our tracking. That helps squish them together so that we can path union them. Oops, let it work. Let's increase this. And this saves you from having to ungroup them and move them yourself. Okay, so let's do a path union. And then we're going to come up here and preview it. Yep, they're all stuck together. Good. Okay, we're going to done that. Let's see if I can still get them to center up there. No, because I already did the path union. That's okay. Object. Now I'm going to hit this break apart because the ungroup isn't available. So I break apart and I object merge. Break apart, object merge. Now that allows me to move these apart or around separately. Okay, so that looks good to me. I'll go back in and object merge the entire thing. Okay, so now I want to put the effects to it. Shadow layer is how we are going to go in and create our layers. So this first layer, however thick I want that first layer, is what I'm going to select right here. And your preview shows you how thick that layer is. Okay. You can also come over here and click blackout shadow. Okay. And that will black out anything that's back there. Okay. So you can increase it as far as you want if you only want one, or you can increase your layer count. All right, and because I have the blackout clicked, that immediately went to blackout shadow. If I just have it that way, it leaves that little space in there. Do you see how that works? Okay, so I'm going to come in here, show you this. There, it just filled in. All right. Okay, so that's how that works. So if I just do a 2-layer, leave it like that. Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm going to okay this. Well, let's see what I have here. There's my first layer. This is all stuck together because that is one function. That was my effect shadow layer. So what do I have to do? Well, I have to come up here, object, ungroup. Now they're all separate. I have to trim these apart. So I'm going to have to duplicate all of these. And a lot of people in class, why do you have to duplicate them? Well, because you're going to have to start trimming these out. And in order to have a duplicate, you have to make sure that this says 2. If it doesn't say 2, you're in trouble. Okay, so that puts these slightly backwards. It stacks them up backwards. Okay, that's okay. I understand that that happens. So I'm going to move this one down here, and I'm going to leave it stacked up backwards. I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to bring this one down here too. So I have my down here parts and I have my over here parts. Do not start stacking them up all over the place. Leave one pile over here and one pile over here. If you don't, you will get confused. Okay, so I'm going to stack this up, and I'm actually going to move it farther over here. If you want to be able to move things clear over here and don't have them stuck right here on the edge, you need to come up here to Edit, Preferences, Edit, Keep Objects on Mat while dragging, untick that, okay? Because watch, if I have that ticked, as soon as I touch this, it comes over here and I cannot move it any longer. So I'm going to come up here to Edit, Preferences, Edit. I'm going to untick that box, click OK, and now I can move it wherever I want. And that's what you need to do. This is nice, except for when you forget that that's over there and you export your file and you shut your ScanNCut down. That is why. One reason why. Okay. Also, you need to make sure that you have your ScanNCut size mat. If you are not using your ScanNCut size mat, you will shut your machine down. Okay. All right. So now let's get back to the business of file making. So I just picked my big one. So I need to come in here and pick my next size one. I'm going to stack them up, and to do that, I'm going to center them with each other. So I just click those two. Now I know my smaller one is laying behind my bigger one, so I'm going to click my front minus my back. I'm going to keep my front. Oh, there's the first layer. Okay, so I'm going to slap that down there. I'm going to bring this one in and grab my next piece. Don't have to worry about it because I'm going to use my centering pieces over here. Again, my little piece is laying back behind there, so I'm going to come in, path, front, minus the back. Let's put that there and see how we're doing. Okay, so I have those two pieces. Now I'm going to bring in this and this, center it all up with each other. Path. Again, my small piece is behind there, so I want to keep my front and subtract my back from it. Maybe. Okay, so that made that piece. Let's stick that in there and see how we're doing there. Oh, all right. And now we don't need to do anything with this. We're just going to bring that down and stick that in there. Okay, now we can highlight it all and center it all up. There we go. So there is my single layer. Everything sits on one layer. This one, because I started in the back, you will always have one left wherever you start. If you start in the front, you'll have that extra front piece left. You start in the back, you'll have the extra back piece left, okay? So there it is. When I pull it apart, I should see the back. Yes. So there would be my t-shirt, my hat, whatever, my car window. That should always be exposed under everything, okay? So it lays flat. Now, to save this or to export this, with SureCuts a lot, or with our ScanNCuts, you cannot export this entire thing and then think the ScanNCut is just going to separate it for you. It does not work that way, okay? Because this is small, I could put this piece down here, use my 6x6 grid mats, put this piece here, put this piece over here. But you see, you're going to have to be very careful because it's not a true 6x6. This part sticks out more, okay? So what I would do is I would come up here, hit this green dot, I would create 4 pages. Okay, and when you export as an FCM, we do not recommend SVGs. You have to export each page individual. Okay. I tell you, I don't know why those keep coming up. I have to fix my settings. Okay, so now I have this one highlighted. I'm going to come over here to my layers, and yes, you can do it other places on SureCuts a lot. There's about sometimes 2 to 4 different places. Send to page 2. Okay. So now that is on page 2. I'm going to move it around wherever I want it. This one, I'm going to come grab this one. I'll send this one. So come over here. I'm over here on the layers. Send to layer page. Let's do 3. And yes, you can name the pages and change the colors and all of that stuff. That's all in another video. I'm not going to cram everything into one video. God, no. Okay, same thing with this one. So highlight that one, send to layer page, and that will be page 4. Okay, so go to page 4, pull it on up, and here we go. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll go up here to my file. I'm going to export because we have to export each page. Okay, so I'll come in here and I'll find my stick, but I recommend that you change this to an FCM. Why? FCMs open quicker, and granted, when you open the preview over on your machine, it's going to be huge, blank, wrong, backwards. They'll all look the same. That's how SureCuts a lot is when it exports your file, okay? So when you get your stick and you put it in your ScanNCut, don't say, oh my God, it's not there. Click on it. It is there. If you have saved the ScanNCut size mat and are using it, and if you didn't leave anything over here, okay? Also check right here. Sometimes there's a little dot up in this corner that can get off the mat. That does happen a lot too, okay? So let's go through. So let's say I'm in such a hurry. Export. And I'm like, okay, let's save it. All right. Uh-oh, this is my warning screen letting me know that I have accidentally tried to save it as an SVG. So I cancel out of here. I never save mine as SVGs. But if for some reason, say you are making files for people, let's do this. We must save ours as 96 DPI. If you do not save it as 96 DPI, the size of your file will change when you get to the ScanNCut, okay? It must be 96 DPI. So make sure that you save that. All right, guys? Okay, so that is how you do layers and a ton of other things because I tried to cram as much in here, much information for you as I could in this video in under 15 minutes. All right, if you have any questions at all, come and find me over at ScanNCut Canvas and SCAL Help on Facebook. I do not get to YouTube to answer any questions. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.